Hello, and welcome to this online presentation for the open house for the preliminary design study for Franklin Boulevard from Avenue Road to Bishop Street. My name is Stephen Taylor, and I'm the CEO of BT Engineering, and I have been the consultant project manager on this study. BT Engineering is a transportation and value engineering company who completes similar transportation projects across Ontario. My credentials are I'm a professional engineer licensed in the province of Ontario, as well as other U.S. states. I have a master's degree. I'm a fellow of the Institute of Transportation Engineers, certified value engineering for life, and have over 35 years experience completing projects in Canada and international. The following presentation describes a sequential decision-making process involving substantial community stakeholder consultation and participation for this remaining section of Franklin Boulevard. The presentation itself will describe how we analyzed and selected a plan for this unique project within the region. This slide illustrates the limits of the current preliminary design study. The check marks at the end bookmark the intersections of our study limits. It was part of a larger study for an environmental assessment that was completed in 2010. The current study limits plan for the remaining improvements between Avenue Road and Bishop Street roundabouts that were previously constructed and opened in 2020 and 2015 respectively. As such, the transportation focus for this project is to define a plan of improvements to implement a multimodal design that follows the modern philosophy of complete streets that accommodate space for all modes of travel. This slide describes the historical context of the project limits. Is that in 2010, an environmental assessment was completed for 8-kilometer length of Franklin Boulevard from Pine Bush Road to Mars Road. It recommended a divided urban arterial with raised center median and roundabouts at major intersections along the corridor. The two sections highlighted on this exhibit at Canamera Parkway and Saginaw Parkway, Elgin Street, have not been implemented and are the subject of the current preliminary design review. The history of the project is that the Regional Council of the day deferred in 2013 the implementation of the Canamera Parkway and the Saginaw intersections because of unique issues in this area. This allowed the design and implementation of the first 6 roundabouts, which are in place today, beyond the limits of our current study. This current study was initiated in 2021 to focus on the operational review of the remaining transportation improvements and provide recommendations for the section of Franklin Boulevard illustrated on this figure. The photo in this slide illustrates the intersection of Franklin Boulevard and Saginaw Parkway is one of the busiest pedestrian crossings of any arterial road in the region. It's adjacent to St. Benedict Catholic High School with a current enrollment of 1,800 students. In the past, this has included students that have had vision loss. It has an average of 1,600 daily crossings on Franklin Boulevard, which is substantial volumes. Of this pedestrian demand, it has an imbalanced crossings of the street with approximately 75% of all the pedestrian crossings occurring on the north leg, as shown in this photo. The school generates additional midday crossings associated with the school lunch breaks in addition to the morning and afternoon peak periods. The east-west pedestrian band also serves as a connection to the communities on each side of Franklin Boulevard for pedestrians that are not associated with the school, such as the Tim Hortons, retail stores, library, and community centers. The next slide illustrates issues on Saginaw Parkway. The project limits include jurisdictional streets for both the region and the city of Cambridge, Cambridge being responsible for Saginaw Parkway. Considerations on Saginaw Parkway are associated with the traffic operation and safety of both vehicular traffic and pedestrian and cyclists. This slide illustrates the high volume of mid-block crossings with uncontrolled movements across the Saginaw Parkway. This activity conflicts with large volumes of vehicular traffic going to and from Franklin Boulevard to the high school or turning movements to the commercial plaza, which includes the Tim Hortons restaurant. The morning school bus activity includes peak queuing buses arrive from Franklin Boulevard to enter into the school driveway. The vehicular traffic demand on Franklin Boulevard also reflects one of the busiest streets in the region. The traffic demand is high today with 36,000 vehicles a day, and this is forecast to continue to increase to over 44,000 by 2041. The operational delays reflect high traffic demand, high volume of heavy vehicles, accommodating high turning movement volumes, and accommodating the crossing times for pedestrians. The traffic demand exceeds the capacity of the intersection, and improvements must be made to the existing condition. Forecast traffic volumes. This slide presents the unique character of the traffic demand within the project limits. There's a bump in the traffic volumes between the Canamerica Parkway and the Saginaw Parkway-Elgin Street intersection. A reality of the land use plan is that the communities south of Canamera have limited access points to reach the Canamera Parkway and in fact are funneled to the Franklin Boulevard intersection. The traffic demand is higher in the short segment from Saginaw to Canamera. Because of that, there's increased turning movements at each end. It reduces the capacity of the road in this segment. This is a very high localized traffic demand overlapping with the high pedestrian demand, creating a unique problem requiring a unique solution. The following three slides illustrate design approaches considered by the technical team and stakeholder group. It included three different approaches for the intersection, including alternative 1A, which was a signalized intersection, expanded to accommodate the future demand. Alternative 2A, a roundabout with a two-stage pedestrian crossing on the north leg of the intersection. And alternative 3A, which is a roundabout design, including a pedestrian grade separation crossing on the north leg of the intersection. Alternative 1A. This is the first approach, which is a conventional signalized design where the intersection will be widened, including a 9-lane crossing at Franklin. This is the widest arterial cross-section available for signalized intersection. At this size and traffic demand, it continues to operate poorly using 150-second cycle length, creating long delays so that individual phases can accommodate turning movements and allow time for pedestrians, including seniors, to make time to cross the street. It was judged to provide the lowest level of service for vehicles and the lowest level for safety of all the options considered, but created a baseline to compare other options. Alternative 2A. The next progression of options was the use of a roundabout control and a signalized pedestrian crosswalk on the north leg. This design is based on a two-stage crossing for pedestrians through the signal. It was considered better for traffic operations as well as pedestrian operation and safety. The insert in the bottom of the slide illustrates a location in the city of Gatineau where this was installed for a similar unique location, although with substantially lower pedestrian volumes. Alternative 3A. The third approach was an elevated solution for operation and safety. It provides improved performance by taking advantage of the unique topography of the area to create a grade-separated pathway, linking each side of the street with Franklin Boulevard going over the pathway. It connects each side of the street at generally the same elevation and, most importantly, creates a straight line direct route from the front doors of the school to the commercial plaza west of Franklin. Movements of students are removed from conflicting with cars and trucks. This was considered a platinum approach that was uniquely possible because of the topography of the hill where the intersection is located. Saginaw Parkway and Green Vista improvements. As I described, these roads are under the jurisdiction of the City of Cambridge. The city is proposing that on Saginaw Parkway to improve safety for pedestrians crossing, make Green Vista a roundabout intersection control. The benefits of this plan is there will be reduced delay through the intersection for the southbound heavy right turn movement. It'll reduce turning movements and improve traffic flow with a raised median between the roundabouts. It'll eliminate the school bus queuing at the school driveway on Saginaw Parkway. The access to businesses in the school along this route are maintained with use of the two roundabouts. It will improve safety for students to cross the Saginaw Parkway roadway with two crosswalks located at each of the roundabouts. It provides for easier movement for pedestrians and cyclists between the north and south sides of the Saginaw Parkway. Community engagement. How do we engage with stakeholders? The study approach included a collaboration of technical experts and community stakeholders. This included an initial value planning workshop with the stakeholders, a community stakeholders providing input on the alternatives, reviewing the evaluation criteria and the definitions, participating in the weighting of the evaluation criteria, and endorsing the outcome of the ranking of the alternatives. Meetings with the stakeholders occurred from 2021 to 2023. Stakeholder participants. Over the 3-year planning study, we've had a working group of over 25 individuals from the following organizations: the City of Cambridge, the St. Benedict Catholic Secondary School, Parents Council, community associations including Fiddlesticks and Greenway Chaplain, the Student Transportation Services of Waterloo Region, the Waterloo Catholic District School Board, a CNIB advocate, and members from the Vision Loss Rehabilitation of Canada. As part of the process, we've had an evaluation committee that actually participated in the selection of the alternatives. The members of the committee included the Region of Waterloo, City of Cambridge, St. Benedict Catholic Secondary School, the Fiddlesticks Community Centre, the Student Transportation Services of Waterloo Region, the Waterloo Catholic District School Board, CNIB Advocate, Vision Loss Rehabilitation of Canada, and consultant staff from BT Engineering and SEMA Plus. This slide shows the evaluation criteria weights. The process that was followed was using an evaluation decision-making process called Multi-Attribute Trade-Off System, MATS. It's a process that we use for complex decision-making involving projects with a large number of alternatives, competing criteria amongst the alternatives, or controversial issues. It was used for this project. Shown on the slide is the list of evaluation criteria and weights reflecting the importance of each one of the issues to be considered as part of the evaluation. This slide shows the preferred alternative that resulted from the evaluation process. It's a proposed roundabout with grade-separated pathway on the north side of the intersection. This design provides the highest safety for active transportation and the best performing safety and operations for vehicular traffic. It's a unique problem requiring a unique solution. The topography of this intersection allowed the introduction of the lower pedestrian pathway, and it was judged to be the best performing alternative and the best balanced solution amongst those that were considered by the evaluation committee. The design is unique and not proposed to become a standard practice in the region of Waterloo and only applicable at this specific location. This slide gives a perspective of the crossing underneath Franklin Boulevard with the pathway. What you can't appreciate is that the elevation of the road has been raised to go over the pathway, and the road has been raised to match generally the elevation of the existing intersection. Again, the crossing for pedestrians is generally at the same elevation from the plaza to the school front door. The second rendering shows a different perspective of using the pathway. It illustrates the openness of the crossing, the natural light, and the good perspective visibility between each side of the crossing. The benefits of the preferred design is that it provides a pathway under Franklin, allowing pedestrians and cyclists to cross a very busy road without exposure to any traffic. The pathway improves safety for people with vision loss crossing Franklin Boulevard. The pathway is shorter, more direct route between the school and the plaza, which is frequented by students. The pathway is designed for uninterrupted sightlines for better visibility and safety. The at-grade crossing in the south lane can also be used to cross Franklin Boulevard during off-peak periods. Limiting driveway access in the Saginaw Parkway and the movement of pedestrians to one of the two roundabouts reduces conflicts between pedestrians and vehicles and limits turning movements, improving safety on both roads. In addition, we'll have multi-use path providing along Franklin Boulevard to accommodate active transportation along the corridor. This slide illustrates the connection to the region's strategic objectives. The first objective, equitable services and opportunities. The pedestrian pathway under Franklin and pedestrian crossovers ensure we're providing services that are inclusive, accessible, and safe. It has had participation of various stakeholders, including representatives from local neighborhood groups, persons with a low to no vision on the project team, who were key in designing equitable services that meet the local community needs. The second objective, climate-aligned growth. The roundabout solution uses climate adaptation lenses to reimagine infrastructure as we reduce idling times and emissions. Fostering car alternative options with proposed multi-use trails along the corridor and proposed transit infrastructure improvements, again, is aligned with climate change. The third strategic objective was a resilient and future-ready organization, and our project team representation allowed us to explore new models of service through community collaboration and partnerships. The project team participated in a multi-attribute trade-off evaluation that established a preferred solution, which was innovative for the site-specific location. This slide steps back and shows the preferred plan for the entire project connecting Avenue Road to Bishop Street. It'll provide the divided urban arterial road with the multi-use paths along the outside of the corridor, and then has the three roundabouts at Canamera, Elgin Street / Saginaw Parkway, and the city's intersection improvements for a roundabout at the Saginaw Parkway and Green Vista Drive. This slide just shows the various cross sections along Franklin Boulevard. What it illustrates is that we've got a multimodal corridor following the principles of the complete streets approach to roadway design. Space for vehicles, space for cyclists, space for pedestrians. The following slides just show some of the renderings completed to date to illustrate the context-sensitive design of the project within the community. Where do we go from here? So following this public consultation, the next steps for the project will be going to the Region's Planning Works Committee in the spring. It'll be followed by detailed design, and then it'll go to construction, currently scheduled for the years of 2027 to 2028. Thank you very much for taking the time to participate in the open house process. If you have any further questions or comments you want to provide, you can contact us as shown on the screen.